Hello, welcome. Just going to do a little review of some CBD products I've just purchased from a company in France called Mama Kana. Overall, very impressed with them. It's my first order with them. I should explain. Been a long-term user of cannabis, THC. But I'm finding with the THC nowadays it's just too strong. It's not an enjoyable experience, and it's more like a mental disorder than a pleasant buzz. But I do enjoy smoking cannabis, so in order to continue smoking cannabis without the mental disorder on the side, I thought I'd give the CBD weed a go. Now, I've always poo-pooed CBD. I've never really tried it. I have recommended it for people with pain, and they found it very therapeutic using the oils and that. But this is not the oils. This is resins and flowers. Now, the flowers are a bit of a grey area. I actually think they may be. They may need licensing to bring into the country. Well, this Mama Kana does provide all the. It will provide all the documentations for customs, and it does list on it flour, CBD flour, and this is just passed through customs, no problem. But if you are outside of the EU, mainly in England, you might have a problem with your order bringing it from France, or you might not. I can't say either way, but you can certainly get this CBD flour in the UK. But the flowers are interesting, but what really is interesting is some of what they're calling hashish. And shatters. I mean, that's a shatter. That's a type of hash. And then you've got things such as ice rocks, moon rocks. I thought I had more hashish out than this. I didn't. No, let me have a look. So those are those. Let's turn that one over because you can't. I don't really want to put the flour on show because YouTube. But a hashish is perfectly legal, perfectly okay to buy from France and import into England, no problem at all, and it's quite strong. And you've got a good variety. This is a holy hash. This one. It's CBD. I think it's CBN mixture. 50-50 CBN CBD mixture, 20% of each, I think. Although don't quote me on that, you'd have to check the website. Very oily, none of it's really pungent. That's one thing I notice with all the flour and the hashish and all the products. They haven't got the same terpene profiles as traditional cannabis strains, traditional high THC cannabis strains. They just haven't got that terpene profile, but that's not to say that they're not getting there. One of these, actually that one I just picked up, that Super Skunk, it's nothing like Super Skunk, don't get me wrong, it doesn't open the bag and smell your whole house out, but they are all different in taste and terpene profiles. And if you were really that bothered, or if you wanted entourage effect, you could buy natural terpenes and add them to these, which would give you the effect. As for strength, Mama Kana does stipulate that you can't really get a CBD weed that's low in THC but high in CBD within regulations, unless the CBD content is kept under about 10%, which is fine. So I'm using these, I'm actually imbibing them in a bong, a vaporizer bong, using Ruby Twist titanium. Which produces a nice amount of vapour, gives a good effect. And this CBD product, heavy weed, is reminiscent of the weed you used to get back before skunk was introduced in the late 90s, or early 90s. I think skunk came in, yeah, about 88, 89, yeah, 88 we were out in the dam and it was just coming in then. So yeah, by the 90s skunk weed was prevalent in the UK, but before that you used to get a lot of bushweed. A lot of it was low standard weed, but you did get some banging weed off of some of the rastas, and it was bushweed. It wasn't generally Sensimelia in those days. It was full of seeds. It was full of seeds, so the effect was less, the head effect was less, but the CBD content seemed to be a lot higher, and the effect of this very much is like the old school weed but without the buzz. And I'm using this CBD to stop the THC weed. I've got actually a bit of THC weed, but I've not smoked now for a week THC weed. My head's becoming a lot clearer. I'm finding I'm having a smoke of this CBD weed in the morning, and it's set me up for the day. I've got no anxiety in the day. I've got no craziness. I've not got a million thoughts racing through my head. I'm just nice and chilled with it. And I think that's where you want to be overall. And relating to that, I did look into getting a medical prescription for THC cannabis, and they offered me the menu. And wow, this Medicannabis in the UK, I think it's a farce. They're promoting high THC strains, which, don't get me wrong, I know THC is good for some ailments and illnesses and problems, right? But they have absolutely no CBD weed for offer. They have no balance of CBD, THC, CBG, CBN. Basically, all they are scripting you is a THC prescription weed. And you might find that you're actually better off buying it from private companies without a prescription and just buying CBD weed. You might find that helps your anxiety far more than a high THC content weed, which is frying your brain most of the time. Now some people are going to say, oh well, you're anti-weed bigot or whatever else. Well, I've smoked for 41 years. I'm 55. I've smoked pretty much every day of my life for 41 years, all bar periods when I've chosen not to. But my tolerance to THC is off the scale after all these years. And just cutting off, stopping the THC weed and going over to this, there was no anxiety, no narc, no, you know, we all know what it's like not to have a bit of weed to smoke. And I'm very hesitant to even attempt smoking THC weed again now. But anyway, that's my little ramble about the medical industry and how it is and whatever else. But let's show some other bits here. I'm not really going to show the flower because, as I say, YouTube are just so shitty. One thing was nice with this company, I mean this whole order, I mean there's more there, there's bits down there. this whole order coming in at about 150 quid, which will set me up for months actually. You know, I've got ounces and ounces of hash and ounces of weed, and at the moment Mama Kana are doing promotions. They're doubling up your offers, and they're also doing a Black Friday promotion on top of it. If you spend 100 €100 presently, you're getting 50 grams of flour free as well. Usually it's only 25 grams. I'm not sure how long their double up offers are going to last. Hopefully indefinitely, but I've just put another order in just to make sure, because it really is quite pleasant, this this weed and this hash. And the hash is smokable direct in the bong. I'm not sure how I'm going to, like, that's vaporising it in the bong. I'm not sure how I'm going to get on with the crumbles and the shatters. But I should probably just sprinkle them on top of a bit of flour. But I have been smoking neat bongs of this. But we've got a really good, we've got a golden static there. I don't really want to get them out. I'll get one of the bits. We've got the ice rocks. That's a bit of distillate in there. And then we've got some more here. We've got a bit more golden static. I think that was a full, almost full spectrum hash with CBD, CBN, CBG, everything bar THC. All of this is below 0.3 THC. I think it's 0.2 in the UK. So you know you're on a thingy. But quite honestly, what are you going to get done for importing hemp without a license? Because it's not THC, is it? What we got there? We've got a bit of Afghan hash, and that's just like the old squidgy black from years ago. I haven't opened that, and I'd imagine it's not going to smell anything like the squidgy black, but there's certainly the visual appearance of it is like a bit of squidgy black from years ago. Let's put that one in there. This one's one of their house favourites, Aya. And what we got there, a bit more golden static. They gave me absolutely loads of that. I think that they do sort of sample packs where you can buy 4 hashes, 12.5 grams for about £30, 2.5 grams of each hash. So no, that'd be 5 hashes. And then they double up that, so you end up with 25 grams of hash for about £30 plus your postage, which is pretty good. So I'm not going to get the flour out because it's not trichome laden flour. It is just hemp flour that's high in CBD. But I'm finding that using the hemp flour for a base and for daytime, and then if I need something a bit stronger in the evening, I'm using something like the hash, and it seems to be effective. I mean, this order came today, but I have been using CBD from another company, but just trying this stuff out today, you can really sort of tell that it's decent medicine. That was a nice blend, that one. That's Super Skunk. As I say, it's not going to blow you thing. And that was another nice one. In fact, they're the only 2 I've really tried. Hawaiian small buds, quite tasty. This was the only hydroponic one they'd done, LA Cali, and it was more expensive, reasonably more expensive, I'd say. And the only difference with this one is it's hydroponically grown and the buds are tighter. It's got no more flavour. It's got nothing else. So while the flowers are good, I'm just using them as a base like tobacco. And so I'm probably not going to bother with the flavours because there isn't much difference between them. And I'm going to focus on the hashes. What I'll do is I'll just get a bulk amount of flour from company in this country. But Mama Kana also do seeds if you're in a country that's legal to grow hemp. So those are those. Let me just show you a bit of the Muso CBD weed hash, because I've got a bit out. That's the black one's the leb, the blonder one. The black one, the darker one, is a red leb from a different company, and it's nothing like red leb actually. The Muso is much more like a red leb. In fact, the Muso is exactly like a red leb, but it's a French produced hashish, and it's lovely. It's lovely and flaky. It crumbles nicely in a bong cone or into a vaporizer, and it's got good effect. Overall, very impressed with that one. And then that one, and that's a nice balance of I think that's a three different cannabinoids in there, and that's a nice balance. That's lovely. And again, that smokes nice in a bong on its own. You don't need the flower. These all vaporise at good temperatures. I mean, I'm vaporising them at 300. Probably I might get a bit more flavour if I dropped it down to 280, but I'm finding 300 is a good thing, and that's using the Ruby Twist vape, which is a ball vape. And then we've got I'm yet to try this. This is a 85% CBD Jack Herer, 1 gram. It wasn't actually very expensive. Only about, I think for 2 grams of it, it was maybe about £10 or something. Oh, I can't get into that. No, I can't get into that one. Let's find the other one. There it is. Yeah, they doubled up on this as well. All their orders are double up at the moment. So it's a whole complete little nugget. It's hard, densely hard. No real. There is a smell to it. It's not like terpene smell. It's if you were smelling the old 9 bars of Moroccan, that's the smell. It's the oil smell you're getting, but you're not getting the terpene smells. And that's Jack Herer. I shall leave that tonight for tonight. None of this is, I don't think, for human consumption. Yeah. Don't know, they recommend making teas with it, and yeah, it's probably quite effective. I have actually just ordered some gummies for the person I look after. I'll have to put that into that won't reseal now. I have actually ordered some gummies for a person I look after, because they do find that therapeutic for their arthritis. That one's another shatter. Lemon crumble, 85%. What's that? That one's. I'm going to put them down because I'll end up losing that little thing otherwise. I will show just those. I won't get it out of the bag. So you got a holy hash. That's a 20%, 20% CBD, I think. So that's going to be good for sleep. Although I can't say what it's good for. You know, it's good for me. That's all it's good for. Golden static. You know, we've got our ice rocks. They do moon rocks as well. They're hard little things. Don't know what percentage they are, but they're quite up in the numbers. We've got the Afghan hash. You know, sticky yicky. Loads of them are so, and I think I might have just ordered some more of that Moso. I've just ordered a load more hash, some of their other flavours, more golden statics, So there we are. That's a review of you know, Mama Kana, and where we are nowadays with CBD weed. Maybe you're trying to stop the THC weed and you're thinking you've got an addiction, then well, CBD would be the way. But also, if you're smoking your THC weed mixed with tobacco, the likelihood is you've got more of an addiction to the tobacco than to the weed. You've probably got a social addiction to the weed and a physical addiction to the tobacco. But that's something they're not really looking into, are they? But there we go, I'll leave you there. Enjoy.